Hello everyone. Welcome to our class on reading comprehension. Today we are going to talk about summarization by taking notes. Before we start in the class, we will discuss a little bit about culture. This was a question you had in your homework yesterday. And I think all of us need to discuss what does culture mean. So what is culture? So what did we talk about when we were making our videos of Telangana? We talked about Charminar, Golconda, which is the architecture, biryani, the Charminar chai. So we talked about food. We talked about Dashera, Eid, Bathukamma. These are the different festivals. We also talked about sari, pearls, jewelry. These are the art and craft. And we talked about Telugu, Tamil, Marathi, all the different languages that people speak. We talked about famous writers, poets, and books. These are all literature. We talked about how the behavior of the people were. They were kind and friendly people in Telangana. We talked about how do people greet each other. That is the norms. And we also talked about what do people do when they're not working. They're sitting in the tea shops chatting. We're going to the jataras and various other things. So these are all the habits. So all the things that we had discussed when we were making our videos of Telangana, they all are under culture. So that is what culture means. It tells us all the small things that makes up the people of a state or a country or in any place. Also, what were the words we learned in the last week? We learned about culture, sacrifice, observe, notice, emotion or emotional. You might have found some other difficult words as well. We will try to find the meanings of all these words and try to use them in sentences. You will get stars when you use them. Next, we will look at quickly how to write good answers because we have been answering questions in our previous lesson. So how do we write good answers? I have already shared a note about how to write good answers. I will summarize them here. First, we will read the text carefully. We will understand what is happening. We will take notes and we will make a summary. We will read the questions carefully and understand what it is asking. Now we have read the text and the question. We will try answering the questions from the text. When we answer, we will write the answers using correct tense and correct sentence structure. So that will make our answers good to read. Today we will look at the part which is taking notes and making a summary. So what is our objective today? We will be able to summarize the events in a story by self-monitoring and taking notes. What is summarize? We have already done that before. It is when we are telling something, whatever we have read, in short. Self-monitoring, we have been practicing this. We have practiced self-monitoring to find the meanings of difficult words. But we can also find the meanings of any part of a sentence or a whole paragraph by self-monitoring as well. We will try reading it again. We will read before, we will read after, and then we will try to guess the meaning. When you are doing self-monitoring, always remember to check the actual meaning of the words from the dictionary. This will tell us if we have guessed it correctly or not, and it will also help us to build up our vocabulary. Taking notes, we are recording key points. We will see how we are doing it. Why are we learning about this? It will help us to practice how to understand a text we are reading. This is a graphic organizer or a GO that we will be using to do our lesson today. Quickly draw this in your notebooks if you haven't still. Take the next 1 minute to draw this in your notebook. You can pause the video while you are drawing it. Once you have finished, you can come back and start watching the video again. You can pause the video now. Let us see how we are going to fill up the graphic organizer. I will read the small part of the text and fill up the graphic organizer. Let us start reading. Dad, is our language different? Kiran asked. Not exactly, said Hari. It is a variant of Telugu, a dialect. But it has not been given the status of a language and was humiliated on many occasions. Even our festivals are not given much importance. Indeed, our Telangana language is part of our culture, Hari explained. So this is the part we have read, and we will try to fill up the graphic organizer with this whatever we have read. Let us see how we fill this up. First, who is talking? Hari. In the part we read, what is Hari talking about? He is talking about the language of Telangana. What are the things he is talking about? Remember, we are taking notes here. So we don't have to write full sentences. We will only write down the points here. So what are the things Hari is talking about the language of Telangana? He says that it is a variant of Telugu. He also says that it did not get the status of a language. He said that is why the language was humiliated, and Telugu language is part of the culture. So these are some of the things which Hari has said about the language of Telangana. So we have taken down notes in points and as key points in the graphic organizer. Now what we will do, we will quickly summarize what we have written down. So we will write them down in very small sentences. How do we summarize? Let us see. Hari is talking about the language of Telangana. Telugu is part of Telangana's culture but was humiliated and was not recognized as a language before. So what the part we have read, this is what is happening in the text and we have summarized it. We have written down in short. And how have we done it? We have taken the key points and the who and the about and written it down as a summary. Also what we will note down? We will note down the difficult words that we have spotted. So for me, the difficult words were dialect and humiliated. And I will find the meanings from the dictionary. So this is how we populate the graphic organizer. Next, this is something for you to do. You will read the text from the book. The part you have to read is given here on the screen. You will read only this part from the book. After you have read or while you are reading, you will fill up the graphic organizer. You will fill up the who, what is it talking about, and the key points. After that, you will find out the summary and you will also note down what are the difficult words. After that, you will go and find out the meanings of the difficult words. Once you have done all of that, you will send a picture to the group. So this is the task you have to do today. We will discuss this in class tomorrow.